What's good, everyone? This is your boy DJ. Oh shit!
My guy's live. Wait, hold up. Wait, you can't. It's not a video. You can't restart it, bro. You can't restart it.
Yeah, that's a blooper, man.
Add that to the DJ's Raw Uncut Truth funny moments chat. Clip that.
Yeah, man, that was my first blooper ever. Thank you guys for joining the show. I got DKM Revolution Radio in the house. We're gonna talk about Liangelo Ball. I'm a firm believer that Jello should go overseas. He should explore every situation he can have. Not stand still. He hasn't played in 2 years. He's got to play ball somewhere. He can't just wait for his brothers to be a superstar in the league to make things happen. He got to do it for himself. DK, what do you think about that?
First of all, I want to say one more thing. That intro just reminds me of when me, you, Hoop Jargon would go live. We'd be like 6 minutes in or whatever, and we'd both realize that like the chat or whatever, like the conversation was dead, and you'd just be like, "Yo, can we start again?" And we just hit the record button and start from scratch. But yeah, as for the question, when it comes for Liangelo, going overseas, bro, he's got to do it now. He's got to. And I think what this will tell us, his next move will show really how invested in basketball he really is. Because what a lot of people are starting to say is like the NBA or bust mentality isn't only LaVar's, but it's also Liangelo's. Like, yes, of course, Liangelo's worked his whole life, but he's worked his whole life to play in the NBA. He wants to play in the NBA with his brothers. Evidently, with him being a millionaire, reality star, not having to worry about money or whatever, now all of a sudden his like actual drive and motive to play basketball comes into question, because does he have can he put his ego aside? Can he do that and then go and play at a lower level while both of his brothers are in the NBA? It's easier in a sense when Melo's coming up, and obviously he had his situation that set him back a year or two. But now that LaMelo's in the NBA and Lonzo's in the NBA, and he having gone undrafted almost 3 years ago now, still hasn't really made any progress towards getting to that goal. I mean, he's had some looks, he's had some interviews, he's had some training camps, but at the end of the day, he ain't been on the floor. So for Liangelo, I think he needs to go overseas. I mean, I think, of course, heck, I want him to play basketball, but I'm starting to wonder, and a lot of people are questioning how much he actually loves the game, because he wants to play NBA basketball, but it doesn't seem like he's too keen to leave his family and go overseas. I want to ask Rev what he thinks about that. Is that valid or not?
What up, fam? What up, fam? Shout out to the chat. Shout out to DJ's Raw Uncut Truth. Shout out to my guy, the GOAT, DKM, Hoop Jargon. I see you in the chat, bruh. It's Saturday and you ain't got shit to do. Pull up. You already know what time it is. Look, man. Liangelo Ball, man. DKM right on the money, man. Like, the boy got to go overseas. How old is Jello right now, y'all?
He's between 22 and 23.
He's getting into the danger zone. He's got to start putting some stuff on tape so that teams, if you're proving them wrong, you have a chance to prove them wrong on film. I hate bringing up, does the guy have a love for the game? Because people seem to get ultra sensitive when, you know what I'm saying, you say that. But I'm starting to have the same questions. I'm not even going to say a love for the game, man. The kid's been under a lot of scrutiny since he made the mistake in China. And he's got to be feeling like no matter what he does right now, all roads are leading to him not being in the NBA, no matter what he does. It makes me think about, you know what I'm saying, the reality TV show this last season when he was on there and he was practicing by himself in the gym and he was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? What the am I really doing? You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people are like, oh, well, it's scripted. Man, look, I live in Atlanta and I live in West Hollywood, bro. And I've been around a lot of reality TV shows. I've been on sets, all kind of shit. Bro, it's not as scripted as y'all think. it's scripted when something bad comes out and the PR department tells you to say it's scripted. But the drama that goes on in people's lives, if you just hit record on the average person's life, you'll have a reality TV show. I feel like Liangelo might be deflated right now. I think he might be deflated, but I would love to see him go to the NBL. And like we talked about last time, if the NBL is not a possibility, then the London Lions, and try to, build on his celebrity status.
DJ, can I go real quick?
Absolutely.
All right, okay. I thought you were like muted your mic or something. Yeah, Rev, I 100% agree with you. When we're talking about his love for the game, we're not questioning whether Liangelo Ball wants to play basketball or not. The question is, does Liangelo Ball, the millionaire, love the game enough to have, let's say, a 10-year career overseas when both of his brothers are in the NBA? I don't know if he's the type of player, because there's a lot of players that could have had professional careers. However, they just decided they gave the G League a bash. They weren't good enough, whatever, like brothers of NBA players, and it's like they don't play professional basketball no more. A lot of these guys we talked about, if you go on the Wikipedia page, Rev, when we were naming like listing just random brothers of NBA players who got the opportunity, and it's like they're not playing pro nowhere. You know what I mean? So Liangelo, in a sense, the disadvantage he has compared to those other guys is they got the opportunity to prove they suck. Okay, we got to see, okay, does Luke Zeller suck on an NBA floor or a G League floor? We got to see Chris Smith, J.R. Smith's brother. We got to see if he's bad. We got to see if Klay Thompson's brother, Michael Thompson, was bad. We got to see if Jaleel Cousins, whatever he's called, DeMarcus Cousins, we all found out they weren't good enough because of what they did on the court. Liangelo hasn't had that opportunity where it's like even a 15-game sample size in the NBA where it's like, okay, we know once and for all what he is. He's a 2-point per game scorer. You know what I mean? Like, Liangelo hasn't had that same luxury. And if you're meaning to tell me that all three Zeller brothers can get an opportunity, especially with the undrafted Zeller brother being the oldest one, who's like 24, when them two are both rookies, and then he gets the opportunity, you can't tell me the Ball brothers with the fame and the clout and all of that they have shouldn't be entitled to that same opportunity. But with Liangelo, what it comes down to again for me is I'm now starting to doubt whether or not he would have a career overseas. Would he rather just stay in the United States? Let's say once Ball in the family is over and done with, let's say they're not doing that no more. LaMelo's in his prime or whatever, and Lonzo's just doing whatever he's doing, starting in the NBA, right? Just being a solid player. Is Liangelo gonna be in London, you know what I'm saying, playing for the London Lions? Is he gonna want to do that? Like, will he, or is he happy to just be in his mansion in LA, be a bit known here and there, and just live the best life of anyone in America? I don't know. I don't know how much he wants to go overseas. And I feel like his perception of going overseas might be a bit different based on the places he's been. LaMelo's been to sunny Australia. You know what I'm saying? Liangelo's idea of overseas, obviously, because he went to Lithuania, the middle of nowhere. It's like, do I want to go back to an environment like that? And bro, that ain't the reality of most overseas countries, bro. Like London and Australia specifically, those are the two leagues we talked about. English-speaking countries are a lot similar to America in a sense than these other Eastern European countries. Like, they speak English first and foremost. You know what I mean? So I don't know. When we question how much he loves the game, it's just, does he want to play an overseas career while his brothers are in the NBA for the next decade? That's my question.
And to add on to it, when these brothers say, do Liangelo love the game? What they're saying is Liangelo going to be willing to put in the grind to make it? Or is he going to just sit where he's at, just hope that his brothers help him get on the team? The choice is on Liangelo. He's got options. Does he want to play or not? And as a fan of Jello, I just want to see him playing something. I don't care if it's Kenya. I don't care if it's Africa. I don't care if it's Europe. I don't give a damn where it's at. And look at Super Team VIP. As you know, Super Team VIP is a big fan of the Ball family. He says this, quote, he needs to be playing to get in front of scouts' eyes. So for him and now, overseas is his best option. Absolutely. It's his best option. Now, Does Liangelo have the pride? Is pride getting in the way for him doing it? Or does he trust so much that he's going to be in the NBA no matter what automatically that he's not going to do overseas? This is the reason why I've been constantly putting this out there. Liangelo got to take his future in his own hands, because if he doesn't and things don't pan out, you're going to be in limbo. Yes, he has a great life already, but if he really wants to play basketball, I truly believe overseas is the best option. He's got to play something. He wasn't drafted by the G League for whatever reason, whatever you think it was, he wasn't drafted. So it's important to have not only a plan A, plan B, plan C. If plan C doesn't work out, go with plan D. And plan D is overseas. The choice is his. Will he make that decision? I don't know. But he has to do a lot of soul searching. He has to just think it out. And we'll see what happens with him.
DJ, I've got a question.
What up?
For Liangelo, right? You were obviously talking that about plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, right? I feel like we're on plan D, plan E now, right? So first of all, plan A was him getting drafted himself. Plan B was playing in the summer league or whatever, right? Plan D, playing in the G League. No, plan C, playing in the G League. Plan D, LaMelo gets to the NBA, gets him signed. So who knows what plan we're on right now? Do you think that Liangelo, you talked about there how he has to put in the grind. Do you think Liangelo's willing to put in the grind of going overseas with the NBA not being guaranteed at the end of that grind? Like, it's all, fine if it's like, okay, you go play overseas in a year like LaMelo in Australia, but you're going to get to the NBA because you're going to be one of the top picks. Is Liangelo willing to take that grind knowing that the NBA might not be there for him at the end of it?
That's a good question. I hate to do this, but LaMelo was the only one to show me that he was willing to put in the work overseas or not. When he went to the NBL, he showed a lot of dog, He showed that he was willing to go above and beyond to make it to the NBA and be a high draft pick by any means necessary. I've never seen that with Jello. Yes, Jello had some solid play with the LKL. What he averaged, 12 points per game? Close to 14? Yeah. But still, when he made it apparent that he didn't want to go overseas and he didn't want to deal with that and the stress, when he put that out there, it showed me that, yeah, he's willing to put in the work, but only to his comfortability. And to make it to the NBA, when they're not letting you in the door of the NBA, you got to get used to the uncomfortability of the league. If you're not drafted, you're not going to get that special treatment. You never do. It's a dog-eat-dog world in the NBA. Nobody cares about you, your family, or anybody else. Everybody's for themselves. They're trying to make the league. It is what it is. So they're not going to give Liangelo anything. He's got to take it. And by doing that, even if, let's say he doesn't make the NBA, if he plays overseas and he makes a name for the family, let's say he plays in London, BBB can grow big time over there. He have his own name, his own game. He'll have a lot of popularity. That's better than any a substitute player in the NBA. Any substitute player in the NBA will take that overseas than playing on the bench. I guarantee you.
I mean, a few points I want to talk on, and DKM is absolutely right. Y'all like the video, hit the subscribe button. If this is your first time on the chat, welcome on the stream. Welcome. Share the video on Twitter. Share it with everyone you know. Let's get the likes up, and let's appreciate what DJ is doing here every day and every night, working hard. With that being said, man, Maurice Hamrick, you're a brother, man. You always coming on here and supporting and really, showing love to the channel, and we appreciate you. wholeheartedly. But we can't censor ourselves because once again, we are hashtag new media. And DJ is leading that charge right now, man. With that being said, us being new media, we have to tell the truth. And the truth is this: we can't pretend as though it hasn't been several athletes whose parents have wanted them to do something all of their lives and they've trained all of their lives. And some of them have even become professionals. But they come to a point in their own life as an adult where they have to ask themselves, do they love the game or are they just doing it because that's all they know? So that is a rational question to ask. Let's not pretend because somebody trains all their life doing something that they love it. That doesn't mean that. You've had NFL quarterbacks that were drafted number one that trained all their life to be the number one draft pick and get to the NFL and become a bust. And then they later come out and say, well, the only reason I was really doing this is because this is what everyone expected from me. Someone said this before, and I want to echo these sentiments. One of the best things that happened to LaMelo is he got a chance to go and be independent. And as a kid that was born overseas, coming to America at the age of 3, and then going back overseas at the age of 18, it's not easy being a foreigner in a foreign country. No matter how much money you have, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? It's an adjustment. So when Melo went overseas to Lithuania, it was step one. It was lesson one. But when he had the gall to go back overseas to play in Australia without his father, without his mother, and really the only support system that we know about really being in his life at that time physically every day was Jermaine Jackson. That gives a person a chance to learn more about themselves. LaMelo had to learn a lot about himself when he went to Australia. How everybody was dogging out his defense. And then the next game, we saw him and Jermaine and Corey Homicide Williams on the beach doing defensive slides. See, that's having to deal with the reality of yourself. And I think Jello just got to find his own way right now. He needs to find his own way. And if the London Lions is the way to do that, DJ is absolutely correct. I've seen players who weren't born in the country become a big star in the country and end up declaring citizenship in that country and going to the Olympics and playing against those same players that they were told were not good enough to play against in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? It's many routes Liangelo can take, and that's an extreme route, but I've seen it done before. At this point, he has to come to the grips of the reality of he has to forge his own destiny and his own path, and becoming an international superstar that is another leg of the brand could pay off for him more than any of the brothers. We never know. You know what I'm saying? He's just going to have to take an unorthodox route. Like someone else said, it seems like the NBA, of course, they're blackballing the family, but also Liangelo's measurables are the main thing that they always bring up. 6'4", 6'5". They don't like his body type. They think he's slow-footed side to side. And also, he would have to play a two guard. I hate to say some things that he needs to develop because I haven't seen the kid playing so long. But one of the things I would like to see him develop in his game, if he's going to be playing that two guard wing position in the league or whatever league he plays in, is a development of handles, a development of working off the pick and roll, showing he can work off the pick and roll, because it just doesn't seem like scouts and teams are sold on him being the spot up shooter that we purport him to be. I think he's going to have to expand his game and add a little ISO element to his game in order to start proving people wrong.
So true, brother. And man, I kind of wish Jello was 6'8". If he was 6'8", man, it would have been a lot easier for the style he plays. For those who are just got on this channel or new to this channel, I want you to do one thing.
Yo. Yo,
Yeah, we back on. I just want to know to hit that subscribe button, man.
my man's learning the buttons. He's having fun with it and all. That's what you love to see.
I like that right there.
Graphics on the live. That's real cool. But I want to say one thing as well, bro, about Jello, right? With him, it's like, does he love the game? Like, this is what we keep coming back to. And you said something about him having trained his whole life and then all of a sudden got to a point where I don't know if I want to do this anymore. Right? Liangelo wasn't dealt the most ideal cards. I go out my way to mention in all my videos when I talk about him, just in case there's one person who doesn't know the backstory. He was in the G League. In an alternate universe with no Rona, let's say he plays in the G League, we see what he's about. He goes to the Summer League, and then perhaps he gets picked up by a team. Unfortunately, we have no idea when the world is going to be back to that point where there is a Summer League and there is, you know what I'm saying, like obviously a normal G League season that isn't limited. Yes, he went undrafted in the G League, but we also have to consider there was such limited spaces available with there being less teams. So in a sense, he's dealing with these blows after blows that are out of his control. But at the same time, he just has to keep waiting. Like, how much longer can one man keep waiting and keep holding off and keep working out? For me, in a sense, like people always talk about, right? They're like, oh, Lonzo in the NBA, LaMelo's in the NBA. He's going to be busting his ass to try and get there. Bro, at this point, he's probably numb and over that feeling of being the one that's missing out because he has been the one that's not playing for so long. He's had to sit there and watch both of his brothers get drafted. He's had to sit there watching the television himself, not even invited to the event, and go undrafted. He's had to deal with blow after blow after blow in terms of his NBA career. And in terms of, I don't think at this point he'll be fazed by anything. Do you think he feels fazed by going undrafted in the G League, or is it just normal to him having to deal with all these blows? Like, anyone can put the face on for reality television or say, yeah, I'm going to keep grinding, because I think LaVar, in a sense, has given him that NBA or bust mindset. Because LaVar, when I spoke to LaVar, he won't even entertain Jello playing in the G League. He won't even say that. All he talks about is the NBA and playing with his brothers.
See, that shit's dangerous. That shit's dangerous.
Yes. Because it's not reality no more. It's not realistic. When I'm saying to LaVar, or anytime you speak to LaVar about Jello, he'll be like, hey, he's going to be playing with his brothers. Bro, that worked in high school at Chino Hills. That worked in college at UCLA. That worked for one pro team in Lithuania's bottom Baltic League, right? But the NBA, bro, and the Illawarra Hawks, the Pelicans didn't do it. The Lakers didn't do it. The Hornets aren't doing it now. So like, what, this idea that he's just gonna get onto a team because he's one of your son's brothers, and that's in LaVar's head, bro. That ain't realistic, and that's kind of like you say, bro. It's dangerous, and I want you to elaborate more when I hand this over to you, because tell us, why is that so dangerous? Explain to the people why that mindset that you're gonna be good is dangerous in a sense for Liangelo.
The shit is dangerous because the family is an outlier in American history and sports. They're doing something that has never been done before. Like, they're attempting to topple some big, giant corporations that's been around a lot longer than them. It's also dangerous because I see it in the chat. I see it in the comment section on a lot of videos. It can create a level of delusion, and that delusion can start to take on side effects of complacency. I think it's a surefire way. And DJ, you pick up real quick. I got to step away 1 second.
Yeah, I get what y'all saying, man. The one problem the family should address is that they gotta have different scenarios. You gotta have different plans to a situation that's not working. And we've always root for LaVar. We want LaVar to do well. We want his company to do well, but let's keep it a buck. Sometimes going all the way in without having a backup plan can falter. anyone who owns a business or been around people that have businesses and their own things going on will tell you, man, when this doesn't work, you got to go to another plan. You got to switch it up. And I really believe, DKM, that Jello, since he's hearing about the NBA or the bus or the NBA is the only way, in his mind, that's why he's not going overseas.
Absolutely.
Because he thinks if he goes overseas, he's never going to be as successful or close to his brother. I'm going to tell you this. If he goes overseas and let's say it's London or the NBL, he's going to be selling out jerseys. He's going to be making a lot of money. He's going to raise popularity. He's going to be more popular in the place he's at than his brothers.
Bro, compare London to New Orleans or Charlotte, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's not even comparable. Like, bro, he has the chance, bro. Every rapper would be rapping like, yo, I'm watching Liangelo Ball courtside and stuff, bro. When they went to the London Lions, right? Okay, the British Basketball League ain't the best level of competition, right? But Jello needs to look at it like this. Maybe my path was to go to the UK and elevate basketball culture over there. Be the person, because there's a lot, bro. London's got a lot of African British kids or whatever you want to call it, like a lot of black kids in like America who don't have a local LeBron James to look up to. They don't have a local Kobe Bryant. You know what I'm saying? He could go there and be that figure, that cool. You know what I'm saying? He's got his own brand. He is quite cool. You know what I mean? Liangelo's a cool guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's got the drip. Like, he's got the tattoos. You know what I mean? He is a cool guy that young people look up to. That's why he's so many people's favorites. So maybe your purpose is to be something bigger than just a role player in the NBA. Maybe your purpose is to transform a culture somewhere and use your high profile. Bro, there's a reason they wanted him so badly in London, bro. They needed someone to help elevate the game and be the poster boy of the league, the poster boy of the city. And that's the purpose they saw for Liangelo Ball, but he obviously wasn't seeing it like that.
And see, that's my point, man. Picking back up, bro. You hitting all the marks, man. Who jargon? What I'm saying is not. I'm saying, oh, delusional people aren't people like Nikolai Tesla or Albert Einstein or Booker T. Washington or Frederick Douglass. I'm not saying that. Of course, you got to have a level of delusion to even dream that big. That's not my point. My point is the delusion to the point where you make that the only end goal. That shouldn't be the only end goal because there's so much more Jello could do. And the Most High puts you in your purpose. He puts you in your purpose. And what DKM was just saying is absolutely right. That's a hell of a purpose. And who's to say coming out of the London Lions, if he becomes such a big star, like I said, I've seen people take on citizenship from other countries that are Americans. They end up playing for another country. Europeans do it all the time. They end up playing for America. I've seen it happen. If Liangelo was to become a star with the London Lions and somehow ended up playing for an Olympic team, the UK Olympic team, you know what I'm saying? Who knows if that's finally going to give him his opportunity to play against American talent, even if it's in trials or even if it's in international circuit where they're playing the younger USA team, whatever it is. Jello's got to get moving in his own direction. And a lot of times, and this is what I said about Melo finding his own voice, A father cultivates you and he protects you and he instills things in you so that once you become your own man, you could have guidance and wisdom on what to do. What we saw happen to Melo at a young age, it was times where LaVar would advise him to do something and LaMelo would do things his own way, not to be disrespectful. No, in order to forge the best path for him. And through that, we're able to see on the court that certain things that affect other people don't affect LaMelo because he's been through so much on his own journey. It's more than just his father words now because his father words have taken on real life situations. So now LaVar's not making those decisions. LaMelo's making those decisions. Like when the reporter tried to out him about having a grill And LaMelo was like, man, I don't look at you as a snitch. And at the end of the day, I'm my own man. So it doesn't matter if my father knows or not. I'm going to do what I choose is best for me to do. That's the kind of situation that Liangelo would be doing if he takes his career in his own hands, goes to London, goes to the NBL, or whatever he decides to do. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, it doesn't have to be just limited to sports. He has a platform. He has clout. He's a millionaire. You never know. Liangelo Ball can own a team one day. So I don't want to always just, when it comes to young African-American athletes, always butcher it down to, oh, he just got to play basketball. Basketball is his dream. Okay, but what if that was his dream and the Most High has another plan for Liangelo Ball to be bigger than, like they said, being a sub off the bench could ever be? Now, with that being said, I do see a way for him to get to the NBA. I do. And it does involve, what have you done for me lately? If LaMelo continues on the trajectory that he is going on, and in those minutes that he's projected to get one day, he's doing the numbers that they project him to do, Liangelo Ball will be on the Charlotte Hornets. That 100%. You know what I'm saying? And I heard a story that he's moved to Charlotte, actually. I don't know how true that is. But with that being said, if LaMelo continues to grow the way that he grows and do the things that he does, the Charlotte Hornets will be a fool if LaMelo comes to them and asks, okay, can you give my brother a roster spot that would make it a lot more attractive for me to re-sign with you when my time is over here in Charlotte? Liangelo will have a roster spot. At that point, and I'm not saying Liangelo is not good, because I'm not one of those people that says he's not good enough. I don't believe that. You know what I'm saying? I need to see him in an NBA situation to prove to me that he's not good enough, because I don't believe that. But with that being said, it wouldn't even matter how good he is, because like I said, I see trash brothers in the league right now. And let's just be real, Lakers fans. The only reason Antetokounmpo is on the Lakers is because we thought we had a shot at getting the Lakers. So let's keep it real.
Yo, and to respond to that, what you just said there with Liangelo, I remember an interview with LaVar, and you're talking about Plan B's not having one. And it was an interview with LaVar, Jello, and some mainstream, like maybe CNN reporter or whatever. And they asked, and when they pulled Liangelo out of UCLA, right, they asked him what his Plan B was. And LaVar Ball said, we don't do Plan Bs, because if you have a Plan B and a backup plan, you have 20% to fall back on. We're always 100% in one way, so we give it our maximum best shot. Because if we had a Plan B, we'd only be 80% all in, because we'd always have that 20% to fall back on. Now that sounds good. Like, that sounds like a good thing to say. Like, oh yeah, he's 100% all in, right? But you need to have an idea of what you're going to do if things go tits up, right? And for Liangelo, everything so far that could have gone his way has not gone his way. It's gone, in a sense, tits up. And with LaMelo in the NBA or whatever, right, and trying to get him on the team, my thing is, bro, like you said, bro, there's one thing getting him a roster spot. Lonzo can't even get Jello a roster spot with the South Bay Lakers. Lonzo couldn't get Jello a roster spot with the whatever the hell the Pelicans G League team's called. And now LaMelo can't even get him on the Hornets G League team when he signed to the G League. It's not like Thanasis Antetokounmpo was coming off the bench in Greece when he got that contract, right? And the thing is, he only got given that contract, Thanasis, the other brother on Milwaukee, the year Giannis was about to be an unrestricted free agent. So is this going to take until LaMelo's like 6 years from now into the league? What age will Liangelo be then? About 28? He might have retired, you know what I'm saying, if we're going to have to wait that long. So, bro, I just hope something happens soon. He can grind his way to the NBA by playing basketball overseas, prove that he's really good in, let's say, the NBL or something, and then G League teams will maybe take him more seriously, which then gets him where he needs to be to prove his worth. For Jello, he just needs to prove himself somewhere. That's the step for now from me.
DK, I think it'll only take a rookie of the year and an all-star. I think that all it'll take 2 years, you know what I'm saying? And during that 2 years time, I think he can go overseas and develop his game. But look, like I said, Hoop Jargon said that Antetokounmpo that plays for the Lakers is 6'10". 6'10" hot garbage. Like, bro, the reports was out there. The only reason why they signed this kid, they thought they were gonna get Giannis. You know what I'm saying? And my bad, DJ. Go ahead.
No, it's all good, brother. Man, I'm about to put the pressure cooker on. This is how Liangelo would make a name for himself if he chooses the overseas route. Now, DKM, correct me if I'm wrong. The Europe and Britain, they're not involved with EuroLeague at all. Is that correct?
They're not involved with EuroLeague or the cup below the EuroLeague, which is the Euro Cup.
Good. If I'm Liangelo's agent, I would talk to him about a vision. If he plays in the NBL, not the NBL, but the what's that league in Britain?
The BBL.
The BBL, and transform that team into a respectable team in a league, into one day they could be a Euro League, and then one day he could play in the Olympics. That's big time. That's momentous for marketing. That's momentous for just having your name out there. If he really saw the vision, he would go through it. But for some reason, he doesn't see it like that. And that's the sad part. Like, he's just sitting around right now. He's got to play some basketball. There's a lot of potential with Liangelo going overseas. It's a lot better than coming off the bench if he is ever signed, by the way. So if I was him, I would look into options and go overseas. Do it for
DJ,
2 years. Yes, what's up, bro?
Why do you feel like he doesn't see the vision?
Because his dad, LaVar, is just like, yo, you're going to be on the same team as your brothers. And he's told him that his whole life. And even when you ask him now, that's what he says.
You know, we love that LaVar is tough-minded. He has a ruling class mentality, strong father. But you know how it is sometimes when someone in your family is telling you, oh, overseas, hell no. G League, hell no. You're all the way NBA, and Jello's probably like, how? Just trust me, you're going to be in the NBA. So he's taking on to that word. That's just my guess. There's no way I'm Jello. If I was in Jello's shoes, I'm telling my family, man, I'm going overseas. I haven't played in 2 years. Hopefully when LaMelo makes it to an all-star team, they'll call me up and everything will fall into play. All Jello has to do is just play somewhere. He'll have film. They'll analyze it, get him on the roster. And by 2022, he could have a chance to make the NBA. I've always thought Liangelo could make the NBA 24, 25 years old if everything worked out well. If LaMelo keeps going at this pace and evaluates his game to another level, there's a good chance. But they got to be patient. Rome wasn't built in a day. So I'm just saying, I'm not trying to tell him and his family what they need to do. But you can't just sit anywhere and just watch your brothers play basketball. If you want to play basketball, if you love this game of basketball, you welcome the grind that comes with it. You think LaMelo wanted to go to the NBL that whole year? Hell no. But he did it anyway.
No, he was trying to go to USC. You're absolutely right.
Exactly. He wanted to play with Big O and USC. It's been reported. He talked about it a lot of times. They even had to try to do a waiver with the NCAA. The NCAA did not grant the waiver, so he had to go to the NBL. That's the true story. He didn't want to go to the NBL, but he did it anyway because he wanted to improve his draft stock. To be great in the NBA, to make the NBA, it's a sacrifice. It's never given. It's a dog-eat-dog league, man. You can't just hope to get to the NBA. Oh, my brother's in the NBA. Oh, I'm going to be in the NBA. That doesn't work like that. You got to take someone's spot. The same person that's not getting the fanfare as Liangelo is working hard right now, deep in that 15th man roster. They got to get that job because if they don't get that 15-man roster, they can't make no money. Now, Liangelo, he already got money. He already got a Benz. He got beautiful women on him. Got his own crib. So maybe the fight to get a roster is different than someone who, if they don't get that 15-man roster, they can't even take care of their family.
That's facts. They're like, oh, babe, we got to go live in Finland because that's the only place I've been given a pro contract because I didn't make this NBA roster. You know what I'm saying? It's a brutal reality. And there's one thing I wanted to talk about as well, and I'm going to say this last piece before I get off here. With LaVar, right, I understand LaVar has shown he's able to adjust, and I respect LaVar. But anytime I've ever spoke to LaVar about Jello, there's something about Jello specifically. He has, in his mind, his three sons are all on the same level. And he does, in my opinion, have a personal bias towards Liangelo. And Liangelo's the one he really wants to see make it. Why? Because they are the same sort of build. LaVar is built like Jello. And in a sense, it probably for him, and I'm going to go deep in this with this point I'm about to make, right? He sees a lot of himself in Liangelo. Now, LaVar repeatedly, when people have roasted him about averaging 2.2 points per game in college, what LaVar has blamed for him averaging 2.2 points per game was the coach. He has lived his entire adulthood life blaming the coach for that, his college coach, for his basketball career not panning the way it should have. And we've seen this theme repeatedly with LaVar Ball. He's always blamed the coach. If I don't get my way, I'm picking up my basketball and going home. And that seems to be his mindset with Liangelo in the NBA. It's like, if I'm not getting my way, I'm not getting in the NBA.
Wow.
I'm picking up my basketball and going home, right? And here's another thing, right? And I want to get this off my chest real quick. So, LaVar, he, in a sense, has that same sort of delusion about his own career. Do you know what I mean? He probably looks at Liangelo and it's like, damn, if I didn't make it, if everything went right for my son, who's built the same as me, he would make it. But then he sees the two sons that do make it, who's got more of like Tina's body and Tina's build. So it's like he's grown up his whole life blaming other people, in a sense, for his basketball career not going right. And then he sees Liangelo not make it. He really wants Liangelo to be the one that makes it because he, in a sense, is probably what LaVar was as a player, similar, like build-wise and stuff.
No comment.
Wow, DKM, that was deep, bro. Now that you think, if you actually hear the words what DKM said, it makes you think. Kabata, I don't think DKM is reaching. He knows the Ball family. He's contacted with them before. He's done an interview with LaVar. So I don't think he's just, trying to reach. This is why I rock with DKM. DKM is all about truth. He supports the Ball family, but he's not going to sugarcoat anything. He's not going to be fake towards the family. It could have been very easy for DKM to be a yes man, to say this or that. But one thing is for sure, LaVar sees Liangelo as him, being a youngster. St. Meats
He's
point
even
this out.
said that out loud.
Exactly. He said this before. He has stated that before. Look how he speaks about Liangelo and look how he speaks about LaMelo and Lonzo. It's different. It's night and day. So if I'm Liangelo, and if he's ever listening, I doubt it, take control of your career, bro. Play overseas. I mean, you probably have to play 2 years or so. And just in time, when LaMelo makes the all-star team, that's your chance.
I'm curious to hear from the chat why y'all think that's a reach. Like how does that critical analytical breakdown? I'm not saying it's 100% right because once again, the brother is just speculating and going off of what he's collecting, his data and his interviews with the family and putting everything together. You know what I'm saying? But why do y'all why does it have to become a reach when if you look at it just objectively, you can, the average person can say, okay, well, that makes sense. I'm not saying it's true, but that kind of makes sense. And I've seen LaVar say that Liangelo is the closest to his build. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen the exact things that DKM is alluding to. I don't understand why it's automatically written off as a reach.
Listen, I can explain what I'm trying to say as well, just to clear up, right? Again, none of this is definitively set in stone, what I'm saying. We're going like deep into the like intricacies and all the specifics, right? We've heard LaVar say, I can find the clip and I'll maybe even one day I'll make a video and I'll say this in my video. I'll make the same point I've made on DJ's show right now. In an interview with Kevin Hart asks him who his least favorite son is.
Melo.
And Kevin Hart says it's the middle one. And LaVar's like, what? Jello? He's the best one. He built like me. And LaVar has always told Jello and given him the mindset, in a sense, that the reason you didn't make the NBA was because of what you did in China. And that's the setback. And that's the only reason you never got drafted. Well, according to everyone else, he probably, barring an amazing season at UCLA and proving people wrong, which the Ball family have done and the Ball brothers have done repeatedly, LaMelo specifically did the same thing. Who's to say Liangelo wouldn't have proved everyone wrong at UCLA? But his stock going into college, he was not going to definitively get drafted. He might have been picked. He might not have been picked. He would have had a better chance had he played 4 years. When I'm talking about body types, bro, LaVar has said when people were roasting him, when people first found out about the 2.2 points per game, he deflected all blame and blamed the coach. Look at every level that LaVar has ever coached or been around his sons at. When he didn't get his way at Chino Hills, he blamed the coach. And he blamed the coach a second time. He blamed the new coach, which is why he pulled LaMelo out of Chino Hills. That's two coaches he didn't get along with. He blamed Steve Alford, in a sense, for not pushing for Liangelo to get unsuspended for having too many white guys. He blamed Luke Walton. He didn't really blame Alvin Gentry as much. In previous years, he'd be going crazy at James Borrego right now for not starting Melo, and he'd probably feel some type of way about Van Gundy playing LaMelo as a 3-and-D, or Lonzo as a 3-and-D, sorry. So just because he's not speaking out about the coaching now because he knows better, JJ's probably telling him, no, don't do that. You don't want to get on the wrong side of the coaches in the coaching association. He called out the Pistons. I mean, he has repeatedly, time and time again, blamed the coaches. And what's he done? He's picked up and left. But his pride is too big, in a sense, to see Liangelo anywhere else. So instead of going overseas, it's like you're too good for that. Like the NBA are going to let you in. They're going to let you in. They're going to let you in. And more time passes, and that's just looking less and less likely. Bro, LaVar has, but I'm reading the chat, bro. LaVar has blamed coaches time and time and time again. Like, is that not true? And anytime I spoke to him, I can tell you, quote, I spoke to LaVar. I talked to him about potentially starting next season in the G League with Jello. He was like, the G League what? As if it was some sort of offense. Do you know what I mean? As if it was some sort of like sickening that you would even bring up the possibility of my son playing in the G League. But that's reality. He's signed to the G League. It's like he's ashamed that like Jello's in the G League, or he wants to keep it low key that he's in the G League. I don't know. The coach in Lithuania as well, we blamed him too. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many times is he going to blame the coach or blame things other than their own players? You know what I mean? That's just a point of view that I felt like sharing with you guys. You know what I'm saying?
Man, let me slide for you real quick, DK.
Go ahead.
Before you ride. Because, man, look. Man, get this man his flowers, man, for having the courage to say what he's saying, man. Because, look, we love LaVar. We love the Ball brothers. We love the brand. But don't ever be a person that is afraid to critically think about something that you are supporting. You can't love something to the detriment of rationale. What DKM is saying is rational. My fear, and y'all constantly get mad when I bring up Zoe, my fear for Zoe is exactly what DKM is saying. I'm afraid that he listens to these things. Oh, the coach isn't good enough. Oh, 21-second BI. Oh, I got to be in the right system. No, bro. No, that cannot be the mentality of someone who wants to be the best. I haven't brought it up because I didn't want to bring negativity. But, bro, have y'all been watching the Pelicans? They've been getting their ass whooped. Absolutely. The game with the Clippers was closer. Absolutely. but they were losing before that as well. We all said that Brandon Ingram is the type of player that is not going to allow his teammates to get involved. He will not give Lonzo the ball. If anybody watched those last 2 games, whenever Nickeil Alexander-Walker wanted to get the ball and go to the rack, he was fanning Brandon Ingram to the side and going to the rack, bro. 4th quarter, 3rd quarter, 2nd quarter, 1st quarter. That's not the system. That's not the system. So why is it that Nickeil Alexander-Walker can do this, but Lonzo cannot? And it makes us question the mentality. The thing that I do love about Melo, even though he supports his father, he supports his family. LaMelo does things LaMelo's way. He takes the things that he got from his mom. He takes the things that he got from his dad, and he utilizes it in a way where he shows he's his own man. LaMelo could be tanking on the bench right now because he's being treated unfairly. LaMelo could be slouching like James Wiseman. Every time I see James Wiseman, he looks soft over there on the bench, sulking and complaining. But LaMelo's not doing that. He's getting up, clapping up teammates. He's being a great teammate. And when he comes in the game, he's fire roasting the league. It's because when he went to Australia, it was his chance to prove to himself that he could do it himself. All DKM is doing is providing an alternate understanding or explanation. No one here knows exactly what's going on in Jello's mind. None of us. Just like we don't know exactly what's going on in James Borrego's mind. That's speculation. But we're just taking the pieces of evidence that we see and trying to do something, which is critically think and come up with a solution to what we see as a problem. We're all entitled to do that. But I don't think DKM should be belittled because he is providing an alternate way of thinking and an alternate line of thinking. Look, I'm with DKM. I don't like all them goddamn excuses, bro. I don't like that, bro. I'm going to just say it straight up. I don't like all them weak-ass excuses, bro. I don't want to hear about that. Go out there and ball, man, and be the best that you can. There's no way that a second-year guy like NAW should be able to fan off Brandon Ingram, but Lonzo can't. Y'all can't tell me that makes sense. That don't make sense.
Bro, AB saying, did we hear LaVar blame the coach in Australia? No, because the coach, LaMelo, had it his way in Australia, right? Okay, but here's the thing. Is when things aren't always going to go your way. There are a lot of players that have some, like, you know what I mean? They have preferences, ways they'd like to play, and it's like, you got to go earn it. You know what I mean? James Harden probably wanted to play the way he played in Houston and Oklahoma City. He didn't have that privilege because there was guys ahead of him. There was Russell Westbrook and there was Kevin Durant. He was coming off the bench. Now, that isn't a direct analogy, but he had to go to his own place and earn that respect by hooping, by putting up damn near 50-point triple-doubles to the point he could do whatever the hell he wanted, right? That's, in a sense, like, you got personality types matter. Everybody doesn't approach addressing teammates in the same way. That's true, right? And you do gain brownie points from being supportive on the bench, and Liangelo wasn't doing too much of that in Detroit. He was just sitting quiet, low-key. And, bro, I'm with Rev again, bro. I'm not here to give you guys excuses, bro. I could come up with a million excuses for the next 5 years and just constantly talk about, the way Lonzo's being utilized and how he's doing this. Well, when he is given the opportunity to play a larger role, he doesn't take full advantage of it. We're talking about a second-year player went for 37 2 nights ago in Lonzo's absence. Nickeil Alexander-Walker went for 37 and 8 in the same situation. Why? Because he was aggressive. He saw the opportunity. Oh, the starting point guard's out. I've got a chance to make an impression. I'm going to go do that, and I'm going to go crazy. Bro, this guy, Lonzo's career high is like, 29 points, 30 points? And Nickeil Alexander-Walker in his one opportunity is got up in his career high, like better than Lonzo's career high. So it's like people saying in the chat, bro, it's like DKM is losing support for the family and he just talks about them on his YouTube and doesn't know what's going on behind the scenes, bro. I've never pretended to know what's going on behind the scenes. There isn't a lot going on behind the scenes with Liangelo, evidently, because he's not played basketball in so long. I'm just saying, looking at the data we have, I don't hate LaVar, bro. I like LaVar. But, you know what I'm saying? That I'm not saying he's perfect. His vision, yes, I respect his vision.
DKM, I got to address this, brother.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead. Take it from
him. Talking about DKM sound like old media. If DKM was sounding like old media, he would give excuses for every damn situation. See, we got to stop acting with emotion. We got to act with logic on these situations. You act like nobody in this panel appreciates LaVar Ball and what he has done. We appreciate that. But we're just like LaVar Ball. We'll criticize everything we see just like he would do. You think he's the only one with ruling class mentality? A lot of us do. So just because we're pointing out what we think doesn't mean, of course. Like I'm gonna give you an example. Hoop jargon. He has a opinion himself, right? With the Ball family, but he's bought more BBB gear than anyone who says that they support the Ball family. And that's a fact. He has met LaVar before. He's had a signed jersey from LaVar. So question is to the people who are listening, do you really support the family and really support their brand and buy everything they have on their stores, or do you just talking?
Yeah, that's what it come down to, DJ. That's what it come down to. And what makes me confused about this? So y'all would rather DKM and DJ and channels like that just tell you what you want to hear and just exploit you for clicks? That's what you want? Because that's what Fox News does to their base. They just tell them whatever they want to hear. Like DKM can literally just tell you what you want to hear and just use it for clickbait. He can do that. And his channel can continue to grow, and his channel can continue to get big, and he could just be not saying his true feelings the entire time. That's old media. New media, this man is discussing and laying out an argument that you don't have to agree with. He's not saying you got to agree with it, but he's just telling you what he sees as an alternative of thought. That doesn't mean you got to believe what he says. If you disagree with him, that's fair. But to sit there and say that the man just uses them and he's just losing support, bro, look, no one is entitled to not say their opinion of what they're seeing on the court. Hoop jargon brought up the point about personality types. Bro, that ain't got nothing to do with no personality type, bro. I ain't saying he got to scream at Brandon Ingram and tell him to get the hell off the court. I ain't say none of that, bro. Look, in any competitive sport, the person that's bringing more to the fight is the person that's going to succeed. You could be quiet. You could be loud. Julio Jones is the most quiet receiver in the NFL, but he will bust your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like there's been a lot of quiet superstars. Hakeem Olajuwon, quiet, respectable, humble, took Shaq to the wood and broke him, sent him to the Lakers. So it's not about his personality type. We're talking about in a situation where it's time to get the bag and it's time to step up and get what's on. It's time for Lonzo to do that. I'm not saying he's not going to do that because, like I said, I want him to be traded. I want him to play games in his career without 21-second BI. I'm all for it. But if we keep putting up these things that Lonzo has to go to the perfect situation for him to succeed, how the hell are you a real supporter? Because if that doesn't happen, then what? No, I'm not saying that. I feel as though Lonzo Ball is a good player because he's a good player. And the chances of him coming into a league or going to a team in the league that truly supports him as much as they hate his family is slim to none. So why would I set myself up as a supporter and say the only way that he can be successful is if he goes to a team that acquiesces to him completely? I don't believe that. I believe he has enough mental fortitude and enough talent and enough gumption that he learned from his family that he could succeed in a not so good situation, because that's what adversity is.
Rev, you know why LaMelo's leading the rookie rankings? And AB, we see your comments, brother. We all know the coaches stink. We have made countless of videos on that. Despite bad coaches, LaMelo Ball still finds the way to ball out. No matter what circumstance, no matter what adversity, the brother is a straight up dog. He wants to be great. You see the fire in his eyes. He went and told to Devontae Graham, clapping at him, he wants the damn ball. Now, Devontae didn't listen, but the fact that LaMelo showed that will of demanding respect. It showed me something. It showed me that no matter what they throw at this kid, he is going to keep swinging. Now for Lonzo. A couple of days ago, we talked about Lonzo needed to be more vocal. You know, sometimes you got to cut some people out. A lot of people were telling me, oh, no, that's just not him. But I said, that's the name of the game in the NBA sometimes. You got to do things
That's what it is.
It's a dog-eat-dog world, like we keep saying, man. These teams are not going to give you shit unless you take it from them. Well, you just expect people to give Lonzo what they want, and it's all going to be great. You can't trust these organizations, man. There's a reason why we said that Lonzo needs to play for a contender.
It is what it is, man. It is what it is, DKM, man. And I'm about to let you say what you got to say. And I respect everyone's opinions in the chat. I respect the support. I love the support that you guys have for the Ball family, that I have for the Ball family, that y'all have for DJs. But we cannot sit up here and not state our opinions and be honest with you, because if we do that, that's Fox News. Don't ever. I'm not even gonna go there. I'm gonna leave it alone. Go ahead, DKM.
Listen, Rose. Yeah, so I appreciate when you guys check in and like take over from me when I'm about to say too much, because bro, like the way with me, bro, I always say in my videos, I say at the end of my videos all the time, I say, bro, I speak where my truth is based on what I see. Don't take what I say for Bible. Just take it into consideration when forming your own opinions, bro. We all watch the same games. We all take different stuffs away. As for the coaches, I saw like AB name like 3 coaches or whatever. It's like, yo, what happened here, bro? They've had so many damn coaches over the years, right? Of course, there's going to be a few ones that worked out. I'm talking in general. It's always about the coaches with this family. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not saying that to get the best out of the Ball brothers, these coaches are doing the best thing, but the coaches aren't looking at it from that perspective. They're looking to get the best out of the team. To get the best out of Brandon Ingram, that's what Van Gundy's doing. He's looking at it from a perspective, let me get the best out of Brandon Ingram individually, which is have him hold the ball for 21 seconds. Other coaches wouldn't do that, which is why you didn't see Brandon Ingram to his full potential. Now, if you think getting the best out of Lonzo Ball, make a system like is going to benefit him the best is what will get the best out of their team, then some people do believe that. Not every coach looks at Zoe as that guy. He's got to prove he's that guy first for them to then take whatever ideas they have and coaching philosophies they have and just apply it all together and make it all about Zoe because they think that's what makes them best, bro, right? I don't speak on emotion. I don't like... We could what we could do. This video is about Liangelo Ball right now. It would be better for our channels to just say to you guys, let's put a jersey swap with Liangelo and the Charlotte Hornets or New Orleans Pelicans and say, yo, he's going to get picked up soon. Don't worry. And then when he doesn't get picked up, we just come up with a BS excuse. No, I could easily come on my channel every day and say the only reason Liangelo isn't in the NBA is because the G League season got cancelled, because there was no summer league, because there's shortened rosters. No, I acknowledge that, and I acknowledge that that's true, while at the same time pointing out that, bro, he got to do something. He can't just sit on his backside while everyone else is playing hoops. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna pass it over and over to DJ or Rev, whoever wants to take over.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
Man, this show has been well needed, man. And I love when you're on the show, DKM, man. I appreciate what you do for your channel, and your channel is very needed. It's always a joy to look at real journalism, you being a part of new media, not being fake, being consistent, because you can't say new media and you going out here and just doing the same talking points like everybody else. It's great to be objective. If we're not objective, then why even be on this channel? Why even do YouTube? And I want to say shout out to Raina Lee Sanchez for the $4.99 super chat. Thank you for supporting the channel. As you know, this goes to improving the channel's quality. Also, shout out to my H-Town brother, Hoop Jargon. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. He says new media. No doubt, my brother. Thank you for always supporting me and being a real one.
Man, respect to everybody in the chat, man. All the different views of what's going on. All of us are entitled to opinions. You know what I'm saying? It's a public situation, so we're just saying what's on our mind. What I never want to be a part of, and what I never want to purport is using people for clickbaits. I feel so strongly about shit like that. I can't support shit like that. And that's really why I rock with DJ the way I rock with him, bro. Because even when it's something that is controversial, DJ will drop the video and say what's on his mind. If I agree with it, I agree with it. If I disagree with it, then I respectfully disagree with it. But I want the brother always to be able to use this platform to speak whatever the Most High is putting on his soul to, you know what I'm saying, to talk about. And, it's just like Fox News. Donald Trump loses the election. For 3 weeks, they still telling people, they're telling their supporters, their viewerships, you know what I mean? Donald Trump won the election because they understand that their viewership doesn't want to hear different. So it takes a level of integrity to do things like that. And I just want to let you know, DJ, I appreciate you doing that. I appreciate you, DKM, for doing that as well. And I appreciate brothers like AB the Hero and Hoop Jargon. It's okay for us to have these conversations and disagree because we're just getting different perspectives out. So I appreciate all of y'all for that, man.
That's facts, bro. That's facts. Bro, like I said, DJ found a gem in you, bro. I love how you always take the time to come up on here, you know what I mean, and chime in. It's one hell of a duo, bro. It's a panel, and I love to be a part of it. Nah, Maurice, bro, I'm not down, bro, because none of this is personal, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people are so emotionally invested in this family, and I get that. You feel some type of way. You feel attached to them in a way when you've been following them for so long, watching reality TV and getting like a scoop in their inside life. You feel like you know the people. I'm not saying I know Liangelo Ball like that. I don't know what's going through his head. When I said the delusional part, I'm saying at some point it becomes delusional when you try the same thing over and over again and you get the same result and thinking it's going to be different. You know what I'm saying? That's what insanity is, trying the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. LaVar seems to have been trying that, which is getting Liangelo in the league based off of his brother's name and clout, and so far it hasn't worked. So at some point, it might be a little bit delusional or insane. Like, that's just me. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I think. Possibly.
No doubt, man. And Jason Zimmerman, shout out to him for the $4.99 super chat, trying to help this channel grow to newer heights. He says, this ain't no echo chamber. Right on. This is not the type of channel where I'm just going to be buffooning all around and just act fake. I'm not going to do that. It's not in my conscience. It's not in my spirit. If you appreciate my channel and you appreciate realness, this is the channel for you. We could all disagree, but we all agree on one constant. And that constant, we want everyone in the Ball family to do well. Anything that disrupts the system is something I cheer for. And I'm rooting for LaVar. I'm rooting for BBB. I'm rooting for the family. Buy their merch. Don't just talk about it. If you support the Ball family, you buy their merch. I don't care how expensive it is. If you ain't got the money yet, save your money until you can get a merchandise.
You can't afford it, you're not a big baller. That's what the man said.
Right on. But like I said, man, we're gonna keep doing this thing, man. We're gonna keep bucking the system, man. They hate stuff like this, man.
DJ, before we wrap up, let me answer one comment real quick, brother, if you would allow me to.
Yes, my brother.
Marks Underhill was saying, I don't get this. The other show you guys were talking about the other brothers in the NBA history that were trash and given a chance. And now LaVar is pushing to get Liangelo on the NBA is delusional. That's not what DKM said. That's definitely not what I said. And if you listen to the entire stream, brother, I clearly said that I do think if LaMelo continues on the path that he's on, that Liangelo will get a shot in the NBA. I don't care if he's 22, 25. The oldest is Antetokounmpo. I keep bringing it up. It's absolute garbage. Doesn't matter how tall he is. There's a bunch of tall brothers in the projects walking around right now. They can't get to the league. You know what I'm saying? So that doesn't matter. So I'm being consistent. DKM, I don't think he's saying he's being delusional for telling him he's going to get in the NBA. I think he's saying the route of just constantly waiting on the G League and constantly waiting on getting an opportunity necessarily just here in America seems not to be working out. So try something different like the NBL, try something different like the London Lions or maybe a Euro League that is respected, whatever you got to do. I would love to see him go the Olympic route. You know what I'm saying? If America will not accept you, become an international star, reclassify, play for one of the Olympic teams, and bust their ass. I mean, that's how you prove it forever. That's how you prove it. It was a cat that played in one of the Olympics that was an American. He ended up going overseas. The NBA said he wasn't good enough, and he bust their ass in the Olympics. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's a lot of different routes he can take to get into the league. No one is saying, I'm not saying, once again, that he is not good enough to be in the NBA. I've not said that once. I would be ignorant to say that with all the trash-ass players I've seen in the NBA. Some of the names, we probably don't even know their names or wonder how they got there. So I'm not saying that. We're just saying it might be an alternative route for him to get to the league. And I just wanted to clear that up.
No doubt, man. And Uncle Rico, thank you for the $5 super chat. He said, look over your shoulder. Old media, new media is on that ass. For sure, man. Let them know. And for the 100+ people who are tuning into this video, make sure to hit the icon button.
Whether you guys agreed with some of the takes or not, bro, you guys stuck around. The retention was good. So run up the likes. Let's try and get 70 likes. There's enough people up in here to get us up to 70 likes. Hit that thumbs up button. You don't lose nothing from it. Yes, I'm going to say one last thing before I dip up out of here. LaVar, basically what I'm saying is LaVar is quite stubborn. Yes, he is stubborn because his entire life he's had this little mindset that all three of his brothers are going to be in the NBA. Now, two of them are, and one is pretty damn close. You're not going to expect someone caught in their ways to be able to be open-minded. Like, bro, he's accomplished so much, LaVar. I've never taken anything away from him as a father, as anything he's accomplished, bro. I respect him challenging the big corporations and all of that stuff. But what I'm just saying is, as it pertains to Liangelo, having that like safety net, or if your brother's amazing, you might get a look, is fine. But in the meantime, that shouldn't be your only way. You should be doing everything you can to get there yourself. And sitting around working out on Instagram, putting up shots in an open gym, and all the fans are going crazy, like hashtag league him, bro, that's not going to get you to the NBA. You got, you know what I'm saying? You got to play basketball. You got to play 5-on-5 competitively, not just work out at the gym for people to take you serious. That's just me. Hey, we got the 70 likes. Shout out to you. Why not make it 75 while we're still here? But yeah,
and before we go, I got to answer this. Star Food says that's on Jello to decide. Yeah, that's on Jello to decide. He can wait until something happens. He'll be waiting for a long time. Or he could take the matters in his own hands, go overseas, get that bread, and put on a show for the people across the waters. But that's on him.
Someone said, real quick, this is where I disagree. What hasn't he done in terms of Jello? He's not played basketball in 2.5 years. That's what he's not done. And the NBA is not going to wait on you. They're not going to look at what you did from 2-3 years ago. Heck, there's some NBA guys that might be named, bro. I've seen cases like Isaiah Thomas, bro. Let's look at what he was doing 2-3 years ago. Did he not have like an all-star year? When was that? Was that 2018?
Yep,
that was round about the same. You know what I mean?
Got his ass out of the league real quick. And y'all better
exactly. That's
wake
how
up.
quickly stuff can change in sports.
The NBA is the most ruthless, cutthroat league. I mean, like, it is very hard to make it in the NBA. And I'm not saying that for Liangelo, because I think Liangelo can play in the NBA. I really do. Call me crazy or whatever, but I think he can. I saw somebody say just because he's 6'6" doesn't mean he's good. We're not saying that. Jello was a shooter. You know what I'm saying? Jello was a scorer. He finds ways to score. It might be unconventional, but he finds ways to score. I'm only bringing up the difficulty in making the league. When a league gets that kind of prowess and that kind of clout, and they hire scouts and owners have all of these scouts and all of these egos involved, they don't want to admit they're wrong a lot of times. That's why you see these guys some years that average 20 points a game and they come out of nowhere, but they may not have the measurables. And the next year, the team that they might have helped get an 8th seed, they end up on another team. And then the year after that, they end up on another team, because narratives in the NBA carry the day. They kept talking about all night last night, LeBron James versus Zion. Man, that wasn't no damn LeBron James versus Zion. We knew the Lakers weren't going to lose that game. But the narrative is Zion is the next megastar, so we're going to promote LeBron James versus Zion. Narratives rule the NBA, and right now it seems to be the narrative that Liangelo does not have the athleticism to play in the league. In their minds, he is not quite good enough. Because if he was good enough, like DKM said, he will be on one of these G League teams, or at least on one of his brother's G League team. And I'm not saying I believe that, but that's the raggedy ass narrative that's out there right now. So he's got to do something to change it.
Last thing, I want to speak on delusional one more time. Okay, let's speak about delusional, the word delusional, right? What's more delusional? Us going deep into our bags, trying to come up with some explanation, or the people that are saying, yo, Liangelo's going to get signed by the Hornets. Like, I'm talking about, they're not talking about, the people that say that, they're not talking about a few years from now. They're talking about right now. Oh, Liangelo's going to get picked up by the Hornets, when the Hornets G League team won't even pick him up on their 15-man roster. You know what I'm saying? So what's delusional? You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I'm not gonna say too much.
Make it make sense. That's all we're asking for the brothers and the sisters that have strong feelings about the things that we say. And we can talk about it tonight after the game. Y'all pull up for the cookout. You already know what time it is. We're gonna be reviewing the game, so y'all pull up. But with that being said, we're just asking y'all to make it make sense, because I saw somebody make the comment, DJ, let's just let them hoop. Cool. And then when they hoop and the game don't go like it's supposed to go, then we still not coming to a rational understanding. Like people keep saying, I still have yet to get an answer. If Lonzo gets traded to a team that has a different expectation for his role than what we have, then what? I think the real supporter is the person that says Lonzo can overcome any situation, versus if Lonzo gets traded to a team that doesn't believe in the skill set the way we believe in it, then, we got to wait another 4 years. Nah, I don't think that's real support. I think those kids are strong enough to find their own way and do it their way and be able to overcome any situation. I think all those years running heels has prepared them to become their own man. And I got faith in these guys, man.
No doubt, man. Shout out to the family, man. Shout out to you brothers for seeing this vision of new media, man. Subscribe to the movement, man. Just the beginning. Shout out to DKM for being a real one, being authentic, being of truth. Shout out to Rev for preaching to the sermon today, man. It ain't Sunday, but he's preaching today. And shout out to everyone who shows love in the chat. This channel is nothing without you guys. All praise to the Most High. Peace and love to all. Enjoy.